Member from New Westminster Burnaby is rising on a point of order.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I believe the table has received notice. And I did mention prior to our break, when we went back to our constituencies, that I would be intervening on the issue and the use of false titles in the House of Commons. You'll recall that this came up just prior to the constituency break. I did say at that time that I would be bringing forward further information. So I'm rising today. It will take a number of minutes to complete the intervention that happened prior to the constituency week. And Mr. Speaker, when we speak in the House, we have to follow clear rules of decorum in a way we address each other. We are guided by general principles, like being respectful, being truthful, and not to use false information, which is why we don't refer to each other with false titles. The House of Commons Procedure and Practice, 3rd edition, commonly referred to as Boscan Gagnon, page 619, which of course is our procedural Bible, as you know, Mr. Speaker, says the following. During debate, members do not refer to one another by their names, but rather by title, position, or constituency in order to guard against the tendency to personalize debate. A minister is referred to by the portfolio that they hold, and remarks which question a member's integrity, honesty, or character are not in order. A member will be requested to withdraw offensive remarks, allegations, or accusations of impropriety directed towards another member. Now, on April 18th, Mr. Speaker, you'll recall that the member for Calgary Forest Lawn had to retract his comment after stating that the member for Edmonton Strathcona was, quote, in the government right now. You'll also recall, Mr. Speaker, that the member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Island, and Rideau Lakes had to withdraw his comments on April 18th while we were questioning Mr. Firth before the bar because he was saying things that were not factually true. On the same day during question period, the member for Milton referred to the leader of the Conservatives with a false title. And you, Mr. Speaker, immediately intervened to ask the member to withdraw his statement. Now, we are encouraged to see that the Speakership is taking the matter of false titles and factually incorrect statements to heart. Et j'aimerais vous réminer une décision rendue par la...
And I would like to come back to a Speaker decision on March 23, 2022, where the Speaker said, members are in the House under the banner of a political party or as an independent. The party that can obtain the confidence of the House will form government. That is the government party, formed by ministers, parliamentary secretaries, and backbench MPs who are from the same party. Other parties in the House and independent MPs make up the opposition, as they are not part of the governing party. It is clear to the Speakership that there has been no change in the status or designation of NDP MPs or their party officers after the agreement. I am speaking, of course, Mr. Speaker, of the Supply and Confidence Agreement. No NDP member is a minister. There has been no change in party representation in the House. Therefore, it is clear to the Speakership that the NDP is still a recognized opposition party, just like the Conservative Party of Canada and the Bloc-Québécois.
Since that ruling, the official opposition, the Conservative Party, has used interchangeably, in a very false way, NDP-Liberal government and Bloc-Liberal government, which makes no sense and which, of course, shows the contradiction that they're aware that they are issuing a falsehood. They have repeatedly used these false titles, false comments in the House of Commons. Now, repeating in the House over and over, now you can see, Mr. Speaker, that the Conservatives, of course, the Conservatives are heckling because...
I'm going to ask the honourable member from Prince George Peace River, Northern Rockies, please, to hold his comments until he has the floor. The honourable member from New Westminster Burnaby, please continue on your point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've only got a little bit more to go. Repeating in the House over and over a statement that is factually untrue is a serious problem and a serious breach of parliamentary practices, and the members in the Conservative Party know this. This means thousands of times repeating something in the House that is false and misleading. And they've admitted that it is false and misleading by saying something different, having a false title that is different in English than it is in French. In French, they continually refer to a Bloc-Liberal government. That is factually untrue. That is a falsehood. In the same way that calling an NDP-Liberal government is a falsehood. It is factually incorrect. J'aimerais souligner que cette utilisation.
I would like to underscore that the use of this term, Bloc-Liberal government, the use of this term in French is also factually incorrect. It is our duty to do all we can to limit the use of these incorrect facts and false titles.
The Conservatives have raised the question of false titles, and we believe very strongly that you should take a ruling on the issue of false titles. You did say that you would be coming back to the House on this issue. We believe this additional information will help you to make the appropriate decision that the use of false titles, including a falsehood that the Conservatives love to repeat, but is factually untrue, is something that is inappropriate for proceedings in this chamber, the House of Commons of Canada, the highest body of political discourse in our land. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That the honourable member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Island and Rideau Lakes is rising on the same point of order.
Speaker, during the member for New Westminster Burnaby's intervention, he made a number of incredible claims. One was that I had said something that wasn't true. He's indirectly accusing me of lying, but is offering no proof of such because it didn't happen. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that what the member is saying is that we can't give false titles to individuals. Well, of course, what we're talking about is the NDP-Liberal government, not talking about that member. That's right. The third thing, Speaker, is that just seconds after the Leader of the Official Opposition raises the emergency of the effects of the dangerous decriminalization that's causing deaths in our communities, this member is falling all over himself to make sure that he can be comfortable with the signed contract that he has with the Liberals to support them. 2 million people at food banks, more than a half dozen people a day dying. He should be ashamed, and he needs to withdraw the falsehood that he said. And he wants to shout me down, Speaker. He should be asked to withdraw the blatant falsehood that he said about me unless he's willing to point to the falsehood that he's alleging that I said. And if he can't, he should be instructed to withdraw it and to apologize.
Here, here. Is this on the same point of order? I'm coming very close to hearing all that was mentioned here on this issue. The honourable member from New Westminster Burnaby was extended the opportunity to intervene on this debate, as he had given notice that he was going to comment on this point of order before the Speaker makes his ruling. Because there was a reference to the member from Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, he was also given that extension to raise his point, to counter or to clarify the record. The member from the honourable member was not mentioned in this debate, so I know Lambton, Kent, Middlesex, but wasn't mentioned at all. So I just want to make sure that we are hearing something new. If not, the Speaker has heard enough on this debate to be able to come back to this House with a ruling. The honourable member from Lambton, Kent, Middlesex.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd just like to ask for unanimous consent to actually table the NDP-Liberal government's supply and confidence agreement right here.
Yeah, exactly.
For not only that, following the rules, but as she had heard, there is not unanimous consent to supply that. I thank all honourable members, and the Speaker will come back to the House with a ruling on this front.